Russia, Russia, Russia. I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. You don't have the cards right now. You're gambling with World War III. He's not speaking loudly. Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
Last week, we shared a detailed episode about the growing bond between Trump and Putin and how the global geopolitical landscape is shifting before our eyes. We said that the new alignment between Russia and the U.S. is beyond comprehension. And now Trump seems to have heard us loud and clear. Trump invited Zelensky to the White House, flanked by his Vice President J.D. Vance, and what unfolded was nothing short of humiliation. They cornered Zelensky, tried to discredit him, and the result was an embarrassing spectacle for the world to see. But why is geopolitics suddenly changing so dramatically? And why is this dangerous for India? Let's break it down. Why did Trump and Vance publicly insult Zelensky? Why is Putin being portrayed as the peacemaker while Zelensky is made out to be the problem? Why is the narrative shifting, painting this war as Ukraine's fault? Why is Vance pretending that Putin can be reasoned with? Why is Trump demanding gratitude from Zelensky? And why didn't Zelensky play along? Did Zelensky deliberately stand his ground? Was this orchestrated to provoke him? And what is it that ties Trump so deeply to Putin, to the extent that he publicly humiliated an ally like Zelensky without saying a single negative word about the Russian dictator? Behind all this lies a multi-billion-dollar mineral deal between the U.S. and Ukraine, a deal that fell apart, angering Trump. Now, the future of U.S. weapons support for Ukraine hangs in the balance. After this drama, who can still trust America? Why are Russia and China celebrating? And what does all of this mean for India? We need to pay close attention. We've already discussed Russia, Putin, and their strategies in detail on our channel. Check that out if you haven't yet. But right now, we're entering a dangerous phase of geopolitics where truth doesn't matter. Power, deals, and dollars rule the game. Since returning to office, Trump seems less like the U.S. president and more like Putin's personal spokesperson. Don't just take my word for it. U.S. senators themselves are saying this out loud. So what is the reason behind this obsession? Why does Trump seem willing to sacrifice America's alliances just to push Putin's agenda and end this war on Russia's terms? When Zelensky refused to accept Trump's terms for the mineral deal, Trump lashed out, and instead of addressing the real barrier to peace, Putin, Trump blamed Zelensky, effectively cornering him during the press conference. And of course, seeing Trump's stance, J.D. Vance jumped into the fight, accusing Zelensky and Biden of avoiding peace talks with Russia, as if Putin is some harmless negotiator and Ukraine is the aggressor. Zelensky tried explaining, Putin doesn't do peace. He thrives on chaos. But Vance did what insecure politicians do, raised his voice, embarrassed himself, the office, and his own country. Zelensky, with his limited English, still managed to make a clear point. America may feel safe across the ocean now, but who knows about the future? This comment struck a nerve, and the situation escalated. Despite all that, Trump never said a bad word about Putin. In fact, he defended him, calling him a victim of fake news and showing him support. The internet exploded, memes flooded in, people took sides. But facts are facts. Trump is pressuring Zelensky to surrender, with no real guarantees of protection if Putin breaks his word. NATO's unity is crumbling. Trump is silent on Putin, but full of demands for Ukraine. Trump even exaggerated, claiming the U.S. gave Ukraine $350 billion in aid. In reality, it's around $180 billion, and most of that goes to U.S. weapons manufacturers, not Ukraine. This is the war economy in action. The world is watching this hypocrisy. That's why countries like Europe, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand quickly came out in support of Zelensky. Veteran journalists who've covered geopolitics for decades say they've never seen anything like this. So why is America turning on its own allies? Why is Trump coddling a war criminal like Putin? Even U.S. politicians are outraged. Democratic leaders are calling Trump a coward and Putin's puppet. Senator Adam Schiff summed it up. Has America really sunk so low to demand extortion in exchange? For safety? Zelensky himself told Fox News that he now has to return home and face his people who are fighting and dying on the front lines. Surrender is not an option, and yet petty questions are thrown his way. Reporters asking, why he didn't wear a suit to the White House? Seriously? These are the headlines while his country fights for survival. When Elon Musk strolls into the Oval Office in a t-shirt, no one bats an eye. But Zelensky, leading a nation at war, is questioned over his outfit? Imagine someone asking PM Modi if he couldn't afford a suit. Should India tolerate that? Of course not. It's absurd. But MAGA supporters cheer this.